So here's an interesting one, and this is, I almost braced myself before I put it up. The laws of jealousy, or soda. But it's also known as, what about the man? It's more common title with about half the people. It's like, yeah, but what about the man? Okay, I should have been a yeah, but on there. I think there is in one place. Let's look at it. It's like a very controversial. People get all wound up about it. Let's look at it. You got to look at it. I like controversy. Let's just dive into it. Amen. Speak to the children of Israel and tell them, if any man's wife goes astray and is unfaithful to him, and a man lies with her carnally, it's hidden, he don't know about it, it's kept secret, she's defiled, but there's no witness, and she's not caught, like, oh my goodness, I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. She's not caught in the act, okay, then what do you do? I mean, the jealousy jumps on him. Look at this verse. And the spirit of jealousy. Stop, pause. Is there a spirit called jealousy? Absolutely. Right there. See, the spirit of jealousy jumps on him. He's jealous of his wife. Thinks she's defiled. Comes on him. You know. And this is interesting too. Notice that this spirit, because it's a spirit, it's an evil spirit, by the way. It can jump on him whether she's guilty or not. Okay? Just because you're jealous doesn't mean anything. Because it can jump on you depending on what door is open. Say, gentlemen, keep this in mind. Okay? Watch how much this is. We think it's focused on a woman, but it really isn't. It's actually focused on a man. Then the man shall bring his wife to the priest, bring an offering, okay? Put it before him. The priest brings her near, sets her before Yahweh, before the altar, and he takes the water in an earthen vessel, dust on the floor of the tabernacle, sprinkles it into this living water, okay? And then it says, this is interesting. It's like, okay, so what happens now? Okay, this is where it gets interesting. This is from, I'm going to just put it all up here so you can see it. This is from Talmud Soda. This is the Jewish, I don't give it any credibility. This is just the way they've interpreted it over history. This is the way it was applied in AD times, at least. While the accused woman who must actually drink the bitter waters, the water affects her male partner in adultery identically. We don't know that that's true, but it makes sense because we see that if you think about it, the instruction here is to take the dust of the floor, put it in the water. Where have we seen that before? I mean, if you just back up and the golden calf, right? What did they do to the golden calf? Moses burns the golden calf, takes the dust, puts it in water, makes them drink, and everybody who's guilty, their belly swells up. They know who it is. It's like they go by, it's the same thing. This is the same thing. This is bitter water is being used again to find out, was God jealous of people who worshiped a golden calf, and called it Yahweh, for goodness sake, this Egyptian calf? Okay? So, they're saying this is the same kind of thing. Now, I'm thinking about this, and I just wrote this down. I was at the sink about to open a new bar of soap, and my eyes look on the back of it, and it said it's something she bought, and it says it's a soap. Right, I'm fixing to wash my hands, and it says this is not Dove is not soap. This is a beauty bar. I'm like, okay. It's like kind of Talmudic, like you do this and this happens. Like this is it washes my hands pretty darn good. Let's see how I look. Look the same. Must be soap, So that's more like, like, okay, some Talmudic writer must have wrote that. So I don't give this a lot of, it's interesting. I just leave it in it's interesting, okay? It's kind of like Dove isn't soap. Okay, so, okay, whatever. This is interesting. This is interesting here. It says, remember the details in the presence of God, living water, which is what it's called, is undefiled water. This is dust from the floor of the tabernacle, okay? Not just dirt. This is dust from the Word, from the presence of the Word, from the presence of God, from the presence of praise, okay? Right? The priest shall have in his hand the bitter water that causes the curse, okay? So that's what he has. And again, who is the first woman in the Bible to be tested by the bitter water instruction? And why is this all about women? Well, they were actually men, and that's what I was just talking about. And here it is. It says they took the calf, ground it, the dust, sprinkled it in the water, and made the children of Israel drink it. So whether you were male or female, and I think that's where the Talmudic teachers got that concept that this same thing would apply, because when they did it there, it applied to both men and women. Can't prove it. Interesting thought. Could be true. Okay. And it says, each man put a sword on his side. He says to the children of Israel, each man put a sword on his side, go from gate to gate, kill your brother, kill your neighbor, whoever it is. And the sons of Levi did it. So not everybody did it. So they're called to do something. It's like not everybody's going to step up. But the sons of Levi said, you know what, this is the word. And there fell that day about 3,000 men, it says. But of course it's talking about people. Probably most of them were men. And so again, how do they know? Well, they had to know something. That wasn't just a random killing. He didn't say randomly kill people, right? How do they know? I think their bellies are swollen. This is what they did. This is the water that causes the curse. You shall go into your bowels, make your belly swell. Your thigh fall away, the woman shall say amen and amen. Now this is a very interesting statement. So this is part of that instruction in 522, that when she's brought to the tabernacle, she's brought before God, he does this whole thing, says here's the water, this is the water that causes the curse, and the woman shall say amen and amen. What does that mean? It means, so be it. Okay? So what does that mean? So be it means that the woman has to be in agreement with it. What if she says no? Okay. She said, why would she be in agreement with this? Because most people read this like, why would I ever do this? This is why. The point here is to defeat an evil spirit that's operating in her husband. She may be completely innocent of this thing. Okay? Okay? It says that the spirit of jealousy has come upon him. There's an open door to the enemy. We don't know how. It's going to be different in every situation. So what if she is not in agreement with this? Okay? Could be a lot of reasons. All right? This is Chief Rabbi Sachs. He's a modern guy. This is what he says. He says, what's more, the Torah awards the power of the decision to the woman rather than to the man who must share her fate. She is not forced to drink the bitter waters at all. She can admit to the adultery and accept a divorce. Okay? The truth is, she doesn't have to admit to anything. It doesn't say that, does it? It doesn't say that she has to do anything. It's just you say amen. That means she's in agreement. He goes on, he says, she has to just refuse to drink the bitter waters on any grounds at all. Okay? She can say it's too much anxiety. I'm stressed out. I'm having a bad day, and I'm not going to drink it. It's out there. She can say she'd rather lose the money, okay, her dowry, and rather than the whole process to cause the name of God gets scraped out. She said, you know what? I'm not going to do something cause the name of God to be destroyed. That's breaking a commandment, right? She said, I'm not going to do it. She can say, I can't live with a guy who is this suspicious and jealous all the time. I've had it anyway. He's been like this since day one. I'm going to do it. So she's not forced to do that. That's important to understand. And it's clear that extrapolation that they've made, as the text says, she has to say amen. Amen means you're in agreement, right? Amen? Okay. Part of y'all, 6 of y'all are in agreement. Awesome. But if she chooses not to drink, what she loses is her ketubah, right? Her marriage settlement. And at that point, she's free to marry anyone and walk away more or less unencumbered. And so it's likely that the reason for the jealousy in the first place was barrenness. Like, why can't I have children? And it might be a medical problem. It might be whatever. But it's being interpreted as a curse, possibly by her husband. A curse of adultery. And this portion addresses that right here. Here we go. Numbers 5:28 says, and if the woman be not defiled, but is clean, then she shall be free, and she shall conceive children, seed zerah. Okay? So, if the woman, this is very interesting, if the woman then goes, that's just like a blank statement, So if she gets put through this and she's innocent, she's going to have children. Okay? So think about that. If the woman was unable to conceive and is innocent and goes through this, okay, then the blessing that she's going to have is she's going to receive a blessing for being willing to go through it, because she's done it for her husband. Okay? This is the only command. This is important. This is the only command that requires a supernatural intervention of God. Most of the time we're doing something or not doing something, okay? And there's blessings or curses. This one, in fact, just to go through it, requires him to intervene, because he's the only one that really knows. I mean, there's potentially someone out there who knows, and she knows, but they're not going to tell, right? So it requires him to intervene, and in order to do that, he provides a blessing for those who are innocent, who are put through that. Amen? Well, I left out one thing. What about a man? Okay. What about him? What happens? Oh, the Bible doesn't leave that out. If a man commits adultery with the wife of his neighbor, both the adulterer and the adulteress shall surely be put to death. The laws are the same. Okay. So, then it kind of gets interesting. So we have to ask this question. What about you? What about me? Okay. Have we committed spiritual adultery at some point in our lives? Isaiah says, for your maker is your husband, and Yahweh is his name. Plot just thickened now. Now what about the man? Okay, it just got real serious, okay? Because we've committed adulteries against our husband, right? We have, and just admit it. And we've sinned against him. Amen? The kingdom of heaven, and Yeshua says, like 10 virgins which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. Okay, so again, the kingdom of heaven, we are his, he sees us as 10 virgins. What if we're not 10 virgins? What if we're 1 virgin and, 9 adulterers, which is more like the case? What if we're 10 adulterers? Okay, more like the case. Paul describes it here in Ephesians. He says, husbands, love your wife, even as Messiah loved the assembly. Okay? He goes on and says, I am jealous over you with a godly jealous, for I have espoused you, I have engaged you to one heaven, to one husband, that I present you as a chaste virgin to Messiah. Okay? And so we're engaged to Messiah. And that's what Paul's like. I'm just, oh my goodness, I'm so encouraged. I want to present you to God as a bride for Messiah. Revelation 19 talks about it. It said, let us be glad and give honor to him, for the marriage of the Lamb is come. Okay? So there's going to be a wedding, and somebody's going to be there. The question is, where are we? The marriage supper and the marriage of the Lamb has come, and his wife has made herself ready. Who's he talking about? Talking about us. Not male or female anymore. He's just talking about us, the bride of Messiah. Okay? So that's what we got to do. We got to get ready for that. Okay, so when we don't, okay, you got a sneak preview of what's coming. So that's our job, to get ready. So when we don't, what happened?